Iron sights, the item that every weapon uses that nobody uses. If you're a normal Unturned player in the year 2022, these low polygon abominations take up precious space either in your gun slot or inventory that can be perfectly used to fit more adrenaline and imaginary red dot sights. If comparable to anything else, it's like that plastic film that you get when you buy a new product. It's taken noted of, properly removed, and left in the wild to pollute the server, or in this case, the environment. Not all iron sights are made equal, however, with some being useful like the Shadowstalker scopes, which nothing can even come close to in regards to utility. Others though seem like more of a hindrance on your aim itself, being intentionally annoying to use. Up until the point that I can even sympathize with third-person combat players, and for once where no sights and even hip firing seems like a preferable option that is technically viable. This leads me to my ultimate question that needs to be asked. In a hypothetical scenario where your head is glued to the gun itself and an iron sight was forced on you, what sight would be the worst? Or, in an English translation, what is the worst unturned iron sight? It took days, hours, and many racial slurs to be used to deduce what iron sight was truly horrendous. I tried every iron sight on multiple guns, and I narrowed it down to a few that are truly terrible and should be immediately replaced and or dropped. Before that though, there were some usable sights that I was under the assumption of being total dog shit. Ignoring Shadowstalker scopes for a second, sights like the PDW, Maple Strike, Eagle Fire, Heartbreaker, and the Devil's Bane, which I totally forgot in my Germany video, were actually pretty good, as their sights didn't take up 3/5 of my screen and actually were not repulsive to use aesthetically and practically. Now, with that out of the way, let's get to the most horrendous sights of them all that are truly horrible. There are some sets I do want to establish in terms of how shit it truly is. The first being the actual clutter and obstruction a shit sight can be, with the worst offenders taking nearly a third of the screen either by the gun itself, the sight, or the hands that hold them. The notable offenders are sights that are low in their appearance, such as the Fusillade, Night Raider, Schofield, and Ghetto Blaster for instance. This can also encompass the Scalar as well. These sights are terrible for situational awareness and make their user look like they no-clip their head into the stock of the weapon, or their hands are just at the same level as their head. The second set will be on usability, such as the Blunt Force, Compound Bow, and Grizzly sights, with one where I have to guess where the shot will land, and the other where I hope the enemy is behind the front post that I'm aiming at. Lastly, there is also a factor of looks, and to be fair, Unturned doesn't have the prettiest sights, but some of them are just outright no drip. Like, look at this thing. With one sight replacement, you've neutered the PDW's swagger. And so with that extensive detail, it's time to answer the question that should have been a 30-second video. What is the worst sight in Unturned? It's a tie between the Ghetto Blaster and the Blunt Force Onion Ring. In one corner, it turned my game to look like I was playing a horizontal split-screen co-op game with the amount of space that it took away, and the other, I have to use basic geometry to zero in the enemies at a simple 50 meters. In conclusion, sights suck, but some sights are even worse. Which one, you may ask? I guess it's up for you to tell.
Wow, how corny was that, Pit? Did you just run out of Adderall while scripting this?
Look, there's a simple fix to the Blunt Force, just MS Paint in a front post. This was a terrible video idea. I don't know, I'm lazy. Goodbye.